ahead, sir. As of May 7, 2025, a real ID or other acceptable form of identification is required to fly domestically in the U.S., but in the Coachella Valley, we've heard some people are showing up unprepared and walking out empty-handed. So what are they missing, and how can you avoid the same headache? News Channel 3's Garrett Huddle spoke with the California DMV and breaks it all down.
I'm joined with Chris Orrock from the California Department of Motor Vehicles. Chris, when it comes to real IDs, we've heard a lot about that deadline, May 7th. Can people still get their real IDs right now?
Of course, you can get your real IDs forever in California. The Real ID was a program that was set up by the federal government and tasked to each state to implement. So it's another form of a driver's license. In California, we have two forms. We have a Real ID and a federally non-compliant form of a driver's license if you don't want to get a Real ID.
What are you guys seeing with visitors at the DMV, some of the maybe problems or questions that they're encountering in obtaining the Real ID?
Well, we have seen an increase over the last month with the federal enforcement date of May 7th. Just remember, that's a rolling enforcement date. The TSA has said that they do have some procedures in place if you don't have a Real ID. If you have other forms of federal ID, like a passport or a veteran's health identification card, there's a whole list of things that you can use in place of a Real ID. But coming into the DMV, we've made it pretty simple. You do most of the application process online. And then when you do have to come in, because you do have to come in to finalize the process, it's taken about 15 to 20 minutes. Once you go online, you fill out the application, you upload the documents you need, and you need a couple different documents in order to get through the process. You need one form of federal identification. So that might be a birth certificate, might be a passport, once again, a military ID or a veteran's card that shows what your complete and full name. And then you need two forms of residency. So maybe that's a bank statement or a utility statement that has that same full name. So I'll tell you, in my case, when I first got my driver's license, it had my name is Chris, whereas my legal name is Christopher. So when I went up to a federal ID, I had to change everything to get that Real ID to Christopher and my middle name and my last name, because that's what's on my birth certificate. So those form of residency, those bank statements, those utility have to have that same full name on it so that they match the other documents.
Mm-hmm. So are you guys seeing people come in trying to get their Real ID, but they're missing the required documents? That's what we've been hearing. Have you guys been seeing that?
I mean, we see that every now and then. For the most case, it's pretty laid out on our website. There is a list there, and you could download that list. You could print it out. You could follow through it and mark off what you need. The thing that people have to remember is even if you upload those documents ahead of time, you still need to bring those documents in to verify that those are the same documents. What saves you the time is by uploading them first. We don't have to take them, scan them, then upload them at an office. They're already there. All we're doing is matching those physical copies. So if you come in without those physical copies, you're going to have to come back a second time. But if you bring everything with you that you uploaded, it should only take you about 15 minutes once you come in with an appointment.
Before I let you go, is there anything else that you say, hey, news guy, I think your viewers in the Coachella Valley should know this or know that in regards to obtaining the Real ID?
I'll just reiterate that if you have another form of federal ID, like a passport, you don't need to get your Real ID until your license renews. That'll save you time. It'll save the process. You won't have to go in when it's a little busier now. So safely wait. If you are traveling, you don't have another ID like a passport, go ahead and come in. Start the process online. Takes you about 15 to 20 minutes once you come in.
Chris Orrock from the California Department of Motor Vehicles, thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thanks, guys.